Hey friends, I love July for so many reasons, but especially because I get to watch Wimbledon and celebrate my birthday. But that's only part of what we're talking about today. We start today's show by talking with Grammy Award winner Victory Boyd about her first gospel album, Glory Hour. Next, I'm breaking down everything you can expect from this weekend's Wimbledon finals with a friend and Tennis Channel commentator. Then we'll learn how to make a delicious whipped ricotta dish that is the perfect centerpiece to any summer appetizer platter. Finally, I'm sharing every birthday deal and freebie I could find so we can all celebrate together, no matter when your birthday is. So grab a friend and let's get ready to party, because this is the Sami Cone Show.
From the News Channel 5 Network, this is the Sami Cone Show.
My next guest is a Grammy Award winner personally signed by Jay-Z, whose music has garnered millions of views and streams. Please help me welcome Victory to the Sami Cone Show. Hi, Victory. Welcome.
Hi, Sami. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It seems weird to be talking to you on Zoom because I was able to attend this album release that you did in Nashville, and we're going to get to that, but I kind of led in with this signed by Jay-Z, Grammy Award winning. I mean, those two things alone, not very many artists can say. Can you give our audience who maybe hasn't listened to you or heard of you yet a little bit of your background to what led to that point?
Yeah, so much. Really, my journey starts with my family. I have eight siblings, and we grew up singing together. And on top of singing together with my family, our parents founded the Boys and Girls Choirs of Detroit. So we also sang in the community choir in Detroit where I grew up. And so it was a lot of singing with a lot of kids all the time. And that's how I got my start. And that's a long ways from, being in the commercial music industry and winning a Grammy and but it all starts with humble beginnings. And you never underestimate this what is seemingly small, because it only takes a seed that is consistently nurtured for it to one day become a forest.
Yeah. I love it. Yeah, I love that you say that, because that's an important message for all of us, regardless of whether or not we're in music. And I mean, I know it's taken years to lead up to this, the release of your first gospel album. You've got to be beyond excited about that. Has that been a journey for you?
Yeah, I thought that I'd have to be extremely famous and successful and literally be at the top of the world before I could have earned the right to authentically express every aspect of myself, including my faith. And it was really the journey I had when I wrote music with Kanye. He specifically asked me to help him write his album Jesus is King. Wow. And that experience for me really broke me out of this shell of these rules of what you can and can't do, and what is allowed and what is acceptable. I got my dream of amplifying the gospel from the top of the secular music industry at 25 years old, when I wrote the lyrics for two of the songs on Kanye's album. And it wasn't like in a concealed way where I have to have metaphors and imagery. And, my first album was that. My album, The Broken Instrument, which came out in 2018, that whole album is full of metaphors that are pointing to Jesus. And that was the extent to which I'd be able to share my faith until I became extremely well known. And one thing that Kanye really got on my case about was, don't be bashful about saying his name. Like, go ahead, go in and declare his word, declare his name, declare. And so, of course, he was and is still one of the most famous people in the world. So he had all of that license. But one thing that really stuck with me from that was to receive license from God. You know, don't wait for people or society or culture to give you the license to be yourself.
That's so good, Victor. We have to wrap up, but just like I said, I saw you at your album release, and I mean, you were proclaiming the name of the Savior in a very kind of hip, millennial, dark spot in Nashville with just a couple words. Can you describe that experience and what it meant and what you hope people take away from that and from the new album?
Yes, ultimately, I hope that people would hear the good news of the gospel, you know, and that we're not left without a savior. We are not left in darkness. Darkness does not have to have the final say. The whole message of Glory Hour is that at the appointed time, glory will come and devour darkness in the same way that it does every morning once the sun. And so that's what I want. That's the message I wanted to take to that club in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's the message that I want to take everywhere, really.
Well, you're doing it powerfully. Thank you so much for joining us. Make sure to listen to Victory's new album, Glory Hour. All the instruments you play on it, really, you have a beautiful voice, you have a beautiful spirit, and thank you for joining us today, Victory.
You're very welcome, Kristen.
We're in the second week of Wimbledon, and I couldn't think of a better person to chat with than my friend and Tennis Channel commentator, Russ Thaler. Russ, welcome to the Sami Cone Show.
Sammy, this is amazing, and thank you so much for having me on. We met 32 years ago at the end of this past summer, which is weird because we're both 29.
Right,
so
how is that possible?
That
I was going to say, full disclosure, we played college tennis together at Emory. I wish I could cue to a photo right now. I think they've all been like, I don't know if we had filmed that long ago, but suffice it to say, we were both awesome. Let's just say that.
Yes, right. Fantastic college tennis.
We were the best college tennis players. And, you know, obviously this is almost like our Super Bowl. I was talking to someone that didn't know what Wimbledon was, and they're like, is it kind of like the Super Bowl? I'm like, it's like the superest of Super Bowls for tennis players. How would you describe it to someone that maybe isn't familiar with tennis, why it's such a big deal?
Yeah, I think the Super Bowl for sure. I would say even more so like the Masters in golf, because it's played at a private club, the All England Lawn and Tennis Club in SW19 in Southwest London. It just has all the tradition of this is where the sport was birthed, and this continues to be sort of the apex of the tennis calendar for both men and women worldwide. And now with equal prize money for a long time now at Wimbledon. Like it's for men and women, this is the peak of the tennis calendar.
This is, yes, you're right. And I mean, there is so much history, so much tradition, but there's always some surprises as well. I have my takes, but what has surprised you most about this year's tournament?
You know what? It's been in a positive. And I'll talk about one woman and one man. Start with a woman, Alina Svitolina.
Yes.
Coming off having the birth of her first child with fellow touring pro.
Yes.
Gael Monfils. God, I was thinking Xavier Malisse, which is a French player.
That's back from our day.
that really is.
Yes, yes.
Lose my mind on that one. So coming back from having a child 9 months ago, just got back on tour a few months ago, and now is making a run for a second slam since coming back. It's just, and let's not forget, she's Ukrainian.
Right.
She wears that on her heart. And obviously, everybody's pulling for Alina. Impossible not to root for her. And she knocks out the #1 player in the world, Iga Swiatek, which, by the way, another person who's pretty hard to root against.
Right.
Svitolina is, amazing.
It
and
is.
then on the men's side,
I was going to say, who's your man? Who's been the big talk on the men's side? An American, I'm hoping you're going to say.
The last American standing. It's Chris Eubanks, the Georgia Tech Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
The Ramblin' Wreck is being represented at Wimbledon, and Chris is such a great guy, 27 years old. I met him in the broadcast booth, not on the tennis court, because I think he was preparing for life after tennis when he just couldn't break through.
Right.
And,
he's tried to qualify. He's tried to qualify 4 or 5 years, couldn't even get into the main draw. And now look at him in the second week of Wimbledon.
It's pretty amazing. Last year at the U.S. Open, he qualified and won a round. And it was the first time he won a main draw round at a major in his career. And we're talking about a guy who, came up to her after a stellar college career at Georgia Tech and just wasn't able to break through. Finally got that first win, loses second round, and commentates after that. And he was great to be around. And to see him make this run from Miami till now, he might be seated
It's
at
incredible.
this point at the U.S. Open, one of the top 32 players in the world.
Right.
We're talking about a guy who couldn't get a cup of coffee in the
Right.
big time. And now he is here. He's here.
right.
Chris has a seat at the table, and he's earned it.
It's amazing. Now, I mean, I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you about whether or not Novak Djokovic can be considered the GOAT. You know, he's been in pursuit of his 24th Grand Slam title. I'm still partial to Federer, but, you know, what's your expert opinion? You don't have to give your personal, but what's your expert opinion?
No, my personal opinion, this actually plays into it. I've always been a Fed guy. He just sort of spoke to me, his game. I always enjoyed Rafa's tenacity and his left-handedness because I'm a lefty as well. And Novak was always harder to wrap my arms around. But here's the deal. Novak's record, his performance, is taking away the discussion of anything else. You can feel how you want to feel. I feel that Roger Federer played the most beautiful tennis I've ever seen when he was at the height of his powers. I've never seen anyone do it better. But Novak Djokovic has put together a resume that is unmatched in the men's game. He's tied with Serena Williams now with 23 majors on the singles side in the Open era. And I think if he wins one more, I don't even think he has to at this point. I think Novak at the age of 36 is still getting better. To me, he's the greatest player that I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible.
Full career.
You're right. Let the racket do the talking, right? Before I let you go, we've got to wrap up in a minute, but if someone wants to pick up a racket for the first time, whether it be tennis or pickleball, before I let you go really quick, what would your advice be to them?
My advice would be start now. And the reason is studies have shown that people who play racket sports, for a number of different reasons, live longer. It will extend your life. Not only that, it'll make you happy because playing those sports, whether it's pickleball or racquetball or padel or platform tennis or whatever it is, it's fun and you're out there with other people and you're enjoying life with others a little bit, which to me gets the juices flowing and adds a little extra spice to life.
Absolutely. So you're telling me that we're going to be having this conversation for many years to come. I definitely look forward to it.
So.
Make sure that
I sure hope so.
Yes, well, make sure you check out Russ and his commentary on the Tennis Channel, and you can watch the Wimbledon finals this weekend. Russ, so good to talk to you.
Great seeing you, Sammy.
You too. Bye, friend. If you're looking to add a little Mediterranean flair to your summer entertaining, we've got the recipe for you. I'm joined by executive chef Jeff Bowman from the JW Marriott Nashville. Welcome, Chef.
Hi, thanks for having me.
I'm so excited. So we're cooking something from your Cabana Club Bar and Grill. It's a new Mediterranean theme. And what do you have for us today?
Today we're going to be making a delicious whipped ricotta, served with some pomegranate, pistachio, pita.
Well, part of me wants to jump right to dessert, but we'll get to that. How do we start this dish? Because you promise it's easy to make, right? Okay,
yep,
show us what we need.
Okay, so today for whipped ricotta, we find a nice high quality ricotta. You really want to look for something with whole milk, not too many fillers.
Okay.
So that's what I got here.
Okay.
A little bit of cream cheese just to kind of up the unctuousness of it.
Unctuousness, I like that.
A little bit of honey just to sweeten, and some lemon zest.
Perfect.
So go and
Okay,
get started.
well, let's get started, yeah.
Great.
I'm going to hold this for you. So I like that. So we can find this ricotta by us. We're just looking for that whole milk, you said.
Yeah, all kinds of different brands work, but you just want to find something with not too much filler.
Okay.
So just
And when
kind
you
of check
say
the ingredients.
filler, that means things that we can't pronounce, is that?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
And I feel like if you're really doing this, the fat's good for this. I mean, this is where we're getting the flavor in this dish, right?
Exactly.
Because we're doing a lot of veggies, so that's okay. We're gonna.
So we're gonna go in with our cream cheese.
Okay.
And then add about 4 tablespoons.
Can I mush a little bit?
Yeah, please.
That's the technical chef term, by the way, is mush. Okay.
And a little bit of honey.
Honey.
Yeah. 4 tablespoons, about a quarter cup.
And when it comes to honey, are you looking for something specific as well?
Local honey's best.
Okay.
But yeah, wildflower, whatever kind of honey you really like or you have at your house is going to work in this recipe.
Okay. What's the difference between doing a ricotta and a Greek yogurt?
Greek yogurt would work as well.
Oh, okay.
I think it works a little bit better for kind of a fruit application.
Gotcha.
And kind of the savoriness of the ricotta is really nice with some cruciferous vegetables.
Oh,
some
okay, the cruciferous. Okay.
So we do about a zest of 1 lemon.
Okay.
I like to do it this way, so we can just add it straight up.
I was going to say, that's a great
like
tip.
that.
Okay. So we're just whisking that in. I'm going to let you do the hard work,
yeah,
actually,
sure.
because, you know,
And
they pay you the big bucks, right?
Yeah. And you could do this at home with a KitchenAid. It's about 2 minutes on the high setting.
Okay.
You're really just looking to lighten the ricotta a little bit. You add a little bit of air in there. Just makes it really nice to eat.
Okay. And if you're whipping by hand, are you looking, I mean, I was about to say a stiff peak because I see you pulling it up there, but just incorporating?
You're just trying to, with ricotta, you have the curds, so you're really trying to smooth them out a little bit. So it just makes it a little nicer.
Okay.
So you can just kind of see the change in the curds a little bit. They just go from, you know, kind of grainy to smooth is what you're looking for.
Gotcha.
And again, don't have to use too much muscle on this one. It's not too hard.
Yeah.
But a KitchenAid really does help on it for sure. And really, that's about
amazing.
what you're looking for.
So this is our consistency here, and then once that's done, we have our finished product right here. So basically, you're serving that with, do you put extra honey on top? Is that?
Exactly. So we at the Cabana Club, we do a rosemary honey. So we'll infuse just some honey, just warm it up, throw some rosemary sprigs in there, let them steep for 30 minutes, and just strain it right out, and you have nice rosemary honey.
And then the pomegranate seeds?
Yeah, the pomegranate seeds add a nice little burst of acidity in there, some flavor interest, and pistachios.
It's amazing. Well, we've got so many other options. I'm assuming these are all part of the new menu at Cabana Club Bar and Grill?
Exactly.
Okay,
We're doing,
walk us through what we've got here. We've got some skewers.
Yeah, of course. We're doing a sirloin skewer. We have chicken skewers. For our vegetarian friends not pictured here, we have some vegetable kebabs as well.
Beautiful.
And shrimp. And they're all just very nicely marinated in a traditional kind of Mediterranean marinade. So a lot of oregano, fresh basil.
Oh my goodness, so good.
Yeah.
And so if we wanted to do this at home, you've got it displayed there with some pita bread, like you said, those cruciferous, those nice crunchy vegetables that we have here. If we were going to experience it and say, why just do this at home? We want to come sit at the Cabana Club, maybe a drink in hand. Instead of a drink, though, can I just point to these little guys that you have right here?
Of course.
Tell me about these.
Yeah, so these are our Prosecco soaked grapes, frozen grapes. So they eat great at the pool. We soak them for about 24 hours in straight up Prosecco, freeze them, and just coat them lightly with some sugar. And they're just beautiful to eat on like a warm summer day in the kind of weather we're having.
I love it. So even I should say, especially for those of us here in Nashville, it is possible to come and do a staycation or even a daycation, right?
Yeah, it's perfect spot for a vacation, for a staycation for our Nashville residents. We're right next to the Music City Center, but it's like an oasis up there.
I was going to say, I mean, you're really close to Lower Broad. Does that kind of help the vibe, or are you in a totally separate?
I would say the vibe at Cabana Club right now, it's not a DJ pool party. It's more of like you can relax, you can really like forget where you are and just have a really nice time. Pop open a book, like have some great food.
You've convinced me. Well, that's all. Sorry we have to end, but that's where I'm going now. If you want to experience this for yourself, of course you can get the recipe at samicone.com, or you can head over to the Cabana Club Bar and Grill at the JW Marriott Nashville and enjoy it for yourself there. Chef, thank you so much for coming and demonstrating for us.
Thanks for having me.
I can't wait to dig in.
Pleasure.
Thanks, y'all. It's my birthday, but don't worry, we all get to celebrate because I'm telling you how to get the most birthday freebies and deals. Even if this isn't your birthday month, actually it's probably better because the first thing you want to do before we get to any of these goodies is to go ahead and make sure you're signed up for those promotional emails or get on your favorite stores and restaurants apps. I know you're thinking, Sammy, I'm getting a ton of emails already. I know, you can always set up a separate account where all of those sales and notifications flow into. but they're getting stricter, and if you don't have those, you're probably not going to get the freebies. And I want to start over here with all of the food freebies you're going to get. Now, a lot of restaurants and food establishments are now letting you take the whole month to claim those goodies. We're talking about everywhere from Buca di Beppo, California Pizza Kitchen, tons of kids freebies like Moe's, Sonic, even Chuck E. Cheese, lots of free kids meals, Buffalo Wild Wings. Now there's places like Starbucks where you're going to get to choose pretty much whatever you want, but that one has to be done on your birthday. So make sure you kind of gauge what you want to eat, how much time you want to spend at each of these places, because there's a ton of free treats that you can get. We're talking about all of your favorite ice cream shops, from Cold Stone and Marble Slab to Dairy Queen, but then you can also go places like Fresh Market and get a free slice of birthday cake, their ultimate birthday cake on your birthday. Even places like Panera and Chick-fil-A, when you use their app, you're going to get a free treat as well. So there's no shortage of sweets to be enjoyed on your birthday, or anyone's birthday month in your family for that matter. But one of my favorites are all the personal care freebies you get. What do I mean by that? So think of where you shop for your makeup or your hair care. Places like MAC. When you're part of their MAC Lovers Club, you get not only a cosmetic bag, but then you typically get a choice of a full-size lip or eye product. You can go to Aveda, and you see these oils down here? You now get your choice of one of their 3 signature scents. So not only do you have the essential oil, you can add it to your favorite products. Even Ulta, Sephora, again, they've got a ton of different choices of freebies that you can grab. So this is something you want to make sure to sign up for, because Ulta wouldn't let me walk out with that hair care product without showing them my app and the barcode. Okay. This is another big one. There's so many stores that offer not always freebies, but really great discounts on your birthday month. Now, places like DSW, they'll send you a free $5 certificate. So don't think just shoes. You can get socks. They even have little toys and scrunchies and things there that you could get and use that money. But places like Best Buy, Nike, you get 20% off. Kendra Scott is probably, again, one of the best, where you can get 50% off a piece of fashion jewelry. And what I love about Kendra, I mean, I love Kendra for so many reasons, but you can even have your kids come in with their birth certificate and you could get 2 pieces. So that's a great deal. Lilly Pulitzer, they rarely have sales. 15% off on your birthday when you're part of Club Lilly. Again, that's part of the app that you're going to look at. And even Disney Movie Insiders. So that's something where you can rack up points, whether you buy the movies or whether you go to a movie. You get free 25 points. You can even get a VIP tour of the Walt Disney Studios if you score enough points. So again, some of these things are not freebies in and of themselves, but you can really add up those points to do some really great things. So I hope you take advantage of all of this advice, because it's fun. If you have birthdays throughout the year, you're going to be able to really enjoy and pick people's favorites of where you want to go. But whatever you do, I just pray that you celebrate. You know, it's so hard when we go through storms of life. I want you to hold the storms and the joy simultaneously. Friends, there's so much to celebrate, and I'm glad I got to celebrate with you. Have a great day. Make sure you make it great, and don't wait to tell someone you love how you feel about them.